America, Brian Boitano.
6 years ago, Brian Boitano was Olympic gold medalist and world champion. Since when he's been professional, now reinstated, and here's his first international competition. A really super skater. And a triple axel there, which must have been part of his combination, which unfortunately ended up on the ice. Circular step sequence. I'm sorry to say that was not by any means the best we've seen of Brian Boitano here in Hammer.
We have to remind you once
Well, this
more
is a
that
look.
the use of photo flashes is strictly forbidden.
Well, I think he got
Please
round
respect this for the
on
safety
the
of
triple
skaters.
Lutz,
Thank you.
but certainly the triple axel, which was to have been followed by a double toe or maybe even a triple toe loop combination, he fell on.
Dommerne kan deretter endre sin karakter dersom de ønsker dette.
Well, he seemed to get round, but knew immediately that for that he will lose 0.5.
The referee then calculates.
Brian Boitano and Linda Lever, his coach, throughout his entire career, must have known that they would be the sort of marks. Only 4.8 given by Robert Worsfold from Great Britain, up to 5.2. Happened to Kurt Browning in Albertville when he fell on his combination. It's happened to Brian Boitano, the champion of '88 here. Obviously the presentation marks much higher, 5.7s, except for 2 5.6s, but his chance has really gone.
Viktor Petrenko, 2 years ago, he was Olympic gold medalist and world champion. Since then, he's come back from professional life and won the European Championship this year. Another very fine skater from Ukraine. He just managed to hold on to the landing from the triple axel. He took an extra turn between the next jump. That was the combination jump. But at one stage, it looked as though he might have over-rotated and lost it, but he held on. He's still going to lose the mark, of course. And I'm afraid he'll lose on that one, too, because he landed going forward instead of going backwards. So 2 jumps, 2 problems. Flying spin into the jump position. There's the double axel. At least that one came off. Nicely centered. Spin combination at the end there. But unfortunately, again, problems with the jumps. The presentation marks should be very good because he has this artistic presentation, which of course he's picked up from his year as a professional.
Well, .2 should be taken off him for the extra turn in the combination jump, and .4 for the wrong landing of the triple Lutz. This is the combination jump. Triple axel. He gets, but the landing needs the extra turn. He was sideways in the air, and although he did a double toe loop, there was that extra turn. This is the Lutz, and he lands totally wrongly, 2 feet and going forward. And it's pretty frustrating at the end. The third of the required jumps to complete a double axel, as simply as that. 5-1 from Canada, the high point, 4-7. Consistent, harsh, but correct marking from the British judge, 4-8 from France. 2 of the favourites, and it's an open competition, have begun very poorly.
Karakterer for presentasjon. 5,8, 5,7.
Presentation marks a good deal higher, starting with 5-8 and ending with 5-8. Great Britain 5-5. It's obviously a judge's assessment of how much the failed elements affect the general presentation, but in most cases they feel that it didn't affect it too much.
On the ice, representing Australia, Stephen Carr.
Stephen Carr, who's already competed in these championships with his sister Danielle, finishing 11th in the pairs. Now he's here as a solo skater. He did it once before in 1990, but was 29th and didn't qualify for the final section. a triple axel, but unfortunately, the landing didn't come off. And he got back into it with a good spin. Triple toe salto, which possibly could have been part of his combination, which didn't happen, or it might have been the triple jump. There's the double axel, never okay. There's the jump sit spin, nicely centered. Well, a spectacular finish by Stephen Carr, but unfortunately, two of the jumps will cost him a lot of marks. He moved around the ice well, but that's going to set him back somewhat.
Well, he made the same errors as two of the great skaters of all time. Pity for him. Triple axel. Sure that the pickup after that would probably been his combination. Just over-rotated, shoulder dropped. He's a successor, of course, to Cameron Medhurst, who was 20th in Calgary and 16th in Aberville, and the only skater for the record to take part in two of the disciplines, having finished 11th in the pairs with his sister Danielle. The required element marks 3.6 up to 4.2.
The marks for required elements 3.6,
Well,
3.8.
they're hard to take, but he would have been expecting something like that after those failures.
3.7, 4.2, 4.0.
Presentation marks are better, and the consolation hug for him up to 5 from Belarus and from Canada. And it's a question whether he'll make the free program. There's his sister Danielle, looking rather concerned for him. I'm sure she'll want to go and console him.
Thank you.
The British champion gets a good round of applause. In the last Olympics, he was 12th. In this year's Europeans, he finished in 11th place. He trains in Canada and has a very nice style, has improved over the last year. Complicated slow step movement. Triple axel, double toe loop. That's a very good combination. His step movements, his presentation are good. And a triple toe salto, that's the triple jump. Very well centered spin. Spinning well and moving around the ice well. That's the double axel. All the jumps are there. That was an excellent performance by Stephen Cousins. I don't think I can remember him performing as well as that. All the jumps were there, one of the few skaters we've seen with all the jumps perfect. And his presentation was very, very good as well. A marvelous reception from the crowd, and he's enjoying it too. Well, let's see what the judges think now, because that was, I think, as far as I'm concerned anyway, the best we've seen so far this evening.
Well, I'm sure he'll forgive me for saying at last. He's known that it's been there, he's been determined to do the triple axel, and when he brought it off, he did it in a combination. Huge improvement with Doug Lee and Robert Tebby. Nice control of the shoulders, up then for the double toe loop to follow. And this time, having gone for, in terms of the first jump, the most difficult jump in the combination, he kept his concentration, came down the ice for the triple toe salto, triple flip, and landed that beautifully too. And look at Kay Robinson, the British team manager of the ice skating squad, bracing Doug Lee. Robert Tebby on the right as we look. Required elements 5-6, the high point, couple of 3 5-4s, 2 5-3s, and 3 5-2s. Best marks he's got. He's now given himself the chance to show what he can do in the free skating when he has that lovely Olympic program that's full of representations of Olympic sports. Presentation marks 5-7, and he's gone into the lead. He's ahead of Brian Boitano. He's ahead of Viktor Petrenko, and he's got 5-7 and the 5-5s. Excellent stuff from Britain's Stephen Cousins. Super.
Triple loops, triple toe loop. Good combination. double axel. Great reaction from the audience. That step sequence, a circular one. Good. As is the spin. Right on the spot. Triple toe salto, completes his jumps, all in order. That was a very nice performance by Éric Millot of France. Remembering that he was second in this section in the European Championship. He's pulled it through and done it again. Triple jumps, all of them, apart from the double axel, which is required, and they all landed well. Apart from that, his presentation was good as well. That should see Éric Millot into a good position.
What a contrast with the Olympic Games in his own country in Albertville when the pressure got to him, and he was very disappointing, finishing down in 15th place in the end. Interesting point of comparison on the combination. He went for a triple-triple, triple Lutz, triple toe loop. Triple Lutz is not as difficult as the triple axel, but of course he followed it with another triple jump. But lovely flow about everything that he did. Here's the toe salto, or triple flip, a triple flip, and great delight in the French camp. It's been quite a contrast during the course of this evening, either very high points or very low. The required element marks, 5.6 from the United States, plenty of 5.5s. They are better than those of Stephen Cousins, as would be expected.
5.4, 5.5, 5.5, 5.6, 5.4, 5.5.
Can't hold her joy. Presentation marks up to 5.7, and we have a new leader. 7 of the judges actually saying that he's the best. One judge having him down in 4th, which is surprising, and one having him down in 2nd at this stage.
Thank you.
Well, there's a lot of Canadians in the building, and they made themselves heard even before Elvis Stojko was announced. The Canadian champion, and he has been skating absolutely brilliantly in all the practice sessions. 2nd in the world, and 7th in the last Olympics. Triple axel, double toe loop. That's the combination. That's the double axel. And a triple Lutz. Last step sequence. Presentation has really caught the imagination of the crowd. Well, that was quite a program. Slight amount of movement across the ice on that very last spin, but everything else that went before it was indicative of the way he's been skating this season. It's been very good when he's got a man who can beat the world champion Kurt Browning in the Canadian Championships. Well, then you've got a man who's skating well, and Stojko certainly did that.
Some interesting comparisons for the judges. He went for the triple axel double toe loop combination, but his triple jump, being the Lutz, is rated more difficult than that chosen by Millot. Michel and Doug Lee, the coaches, same stable as Stephen Cousins. This is coming in to the triple axel, and then the double toe loop. After the triple axel, the double was unlikely to be a problem. And the last of the jumps, look over the shoulder. And the turn after the dig in of the toe. All the jumps completed. Relief and delight. At the moment, two of the judges go for Cousins, the rest go for Millot, but this is going to change. 5, 8, 4 of them for the required elements. That is clearly better than Millot, who had 4 5.5s and 1 5.6. The marks for presentation might tell a story for the free program to follow. Presentation also higher, 5.8 the high point from Romania. He's got into the lead above Millot, with Cousins now in third place at the moment.
5.6, 5.7, 5.7, 5.7, 5.6, 5.7, 5.7, 5.7. Thank you. On the ice, representing the United States of America, Scott Davies.
Here's another young man who is likely to make quite an impression. The United States champion, Scott Davies. He was 6th in the world last year, but he has come through during the past season. Unfortunately, he made a 3-turn between the 2 jumps. The jumps were okay, but the landing meant he did a 3-turn, and that takes marks away. The landing on the triple Lutz wasn't too good either. Didn't lose it, but he leaned forward after the landing. Very fast serpentine step sequence. Serpentine's a big S on the ice. No problem at all with the double axel. Straight into a circular step sequence. A bit of travel on that spin, but he's got it there now. Well, unfortunately, a few question marks in the program, but Scott Davies has been skating very well this season, and of course this is the smaller part of the competition. He does well in the free program, well, he can get back in there. But those 2 small errors could cost him just a little.
Yes, the 22-year-old from, perhaps unfortunately named, considering he's a skater. He comes from Great Falls in Montana. It's the triple axel, the 3-turn that Alan referred to, is the fact that he does a figure 3 with his movement of the skate. If you looked at the ice, you would see 3 on the ice.
Photo flashes is strictly forbidden. Please respect this.
Fought a long time before the triple Lutz and had to battle to hold it. His jumps not matching the speed of his spinning. His coach there is Kathy Casey. Came into this Olympic championship as the favorite from the United States point of view, ahead of Brian Boitano. He's 8 years Boitano's junior. He's building a career for himself in sports medicine, which he hopes to continue with when his skating days are no longer. If you're still struggling to identify the music that he used, Zorba the Greek. So, the marks for required elements. Three 5.5s and a 5.6 from the British judge.
The marks for required elements: 5-5, 5-4, 5-4, 5-5,
three turn
5-3,
and
5-4,
the disappointing landing on the Lutz, not costing him too much. And the presentation marks high of 5-7, and that puts him into second place behind Elvis Stojko.
And the marks for presentation:
That's the majority decision of the judges, though as you can see, a number of them have him down in third.
5-6, 5-6, 5-6, 5-6. Thank you.
Oleg Tataurov, the second-ranked Russian. Last year's Worlds, he finished 11th, and in this year's Europeans, he finished in 7th place. He was 5th in this technical section. Comes from St. Petersburg. Triple axel, double toe loop. Excellent start. The way he went into that spin was very good as well. Triple loop. Circular step sequence here. Spins were good, but he moved a bit towards the end, across the ice. No problem with the double axel. And Oleg Tataurov can be very pleased with that program. All the jumps were there, the movements, the steps around the ice, and the music was interpreted very well. Very good triple axel double toe loop, and he's really set the standard.
Shows music of Carmen by Bizet, which is a favorite among a number of skaters. Nice body position on the triple axel double toe loop that followed. It's been successful for Stojko and successful for Cousins. Triple loop. He's the first to perform that. Not considered to be quite as difficult as the triple Lutz. Double axel. Seeing a lot of the replays of the jumps, of course, but it's not just about them. The spins count and the steps count. Solitary figure, Alexei Mishin not there with him. 5-7 from Romania, the high point of the required element marks.
The marks for
5-6 from the French judge.
5-4, 5-5, 5-5, 5-6, 5-4, 5-4.
After a quiet start to the competition, it's really pretty tight at the top. Presentation, 5-7 is the high point of those, and currently he's third.
And the marks for presentation, 5-6, 5-5, 5-6, 5-5, 5-7, 5-4, 5-6, 5-6, 5-3. Thank you. On the ice, representing Russia, Aleksei Urmanov.
The Russian champion, bronze medalist in the world last year, bronze medalist in the European Championships this year, Aleksei Urmanov from St. Petersburg. In the Europeans, he was 6th in the technical program we're about to see, and 3rd in the free skating. He is an excellent skater when he's on form. Triple axel, double toe loop. Excellent spin. And the triple Lutz was made to look very easy indeed. Very artistic presentation. That's it. All the jumps out of the way. The straight line step sequence right down the center of the ice. And an excellently centered spin to finish his program. Well, Alexei should be very satisfied. Artistically, it was good. Presentation to the music, and also, of course, all the elements were there. And the jumps, they were excellent. Triple axel, double toe, the combination, and a triple Lutz for the single triple. That should keep him up, certainly, amongst the forerunners.
How well Giuseppe Verdi's Rigoletto served him.
Thanks.
Really very, very soft landings on all the jumps. That's the triple axel up to the double toe loop. Nice flow. It was a very artistic performance. I think probably the best triple Lutz we've seen. Step sequences were good. This is a real contender for leadership in the technical program. And height on the double axel, and again a really flowing edge. Alexei Mishin is his coach, as well as Tataurov's. Required elements, a couple of 5.8s. In fact, more 5.8s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.8s. 3 5.7s on the 5.6s. Very, very good marks. And I said 4 5.8s. That's what Stojko had. And you can see that's clearly improved upon. And the presentation marks are better than Stojko's. We have a new leader, and it's not surprising. But he doesn't have every judge. 4 of them have him in second place. The majority have him in first.
On the ice, representing France, Philippe Candeloro.
Philippe Candeloro of France, one of the great characters of free skating in the technical program. He usually plays it straight. In the free program, well, you never know what's going to happen. He was 5th in the Europeans this year and 5th in the world last year. In this section, he was 7th in the Europeans. Triple axel, double toe loop, good start. Triple looks. It's the sort of thing he does. Straight line step sequence right up the center. Changes of tempo in the music, and he's using it, presenting it very well. And that's a good spin. Well, I thought it was a good spin. Philippe Candeloro. As I said, one of the characters of the ice, apart from which he is a very good skater. All the jumps were there, beautifully performed, as was the step movements and the spins. So Philippe, well, it's going to be interesting to see how he comes along in this. In the Europeans, he was 7th. I think it's going to be closer than that.
Yes, he usually leaves himself with ground to make up from the technical program, but not today, his 22nd birthday. Tremendous height on the triple axel. Good height, too, on the double toe loop to follow. Same program in terms of jumps as Aleksei Urmanov. That was the triple Lutz. Flew through the double axel. Perhaps not quite as clean a finish as Urmanov, and this is a touch of the Godfather we had at the end, Le Parrain in his language, and we'll see more of that in his free program. Required element marks. What a variation here. 5.8 from the Romanian judge, only 5.2 from the British judge. Something that Robert Worsfold didn't like. The others are pretty close to the judge from Romania. And a 5.9 from Romania. Really liked his presentation. He is in 3rd place, and this is building up to a tremendous competition.
Marks for presentation: 5.9, 5.8, 5.8, 5.8, 5.7, 5.7, 5.8, 5.5, 5.6. Thank you. On the ice, representing Canada, Kurt Browning.
And the last skater in this technical program, one of the great skaters of the modern era, Kurt Browning of Canada. The reigning world champion, 6th in the Olympic Games. And he was the first skater to do a quad in a program. That was a few years back. He hasn't been at the best of his form, but when he comes out in front of the public, he usually performs brilliantly. There's the triple axel and the double toe loop, no problem. And he fell on the triple toe salto. In his own special way. Massive serpentine step sequence. And he did a single axel. Well, as I said before he started, he's had his training moments which haven't been too good. And unfortunately, the fall on the triple toe salto, and I feel quite convinced that it was a single axel he jumped as opposed to the double, which is required. So we shall have to see. But Kurt Browning is certainly a skater of great brilliance, and if he can put it together, he'll be there. But tonight, not so sure.
He's been suffering from sinus problems in his preparation, but I think he knows that for the second Olympic Games running, he's not going to make it to the gold. He's the reigning world champion. 4 times he's won that title. He got through with a combination which destroyed him in Albertville, and it seemed that that memory was behind him, but not so. The toe salcho or flip at the end of the step sequence. In goes the toe pick, up goes Browning, but as he lands back outside edge, he loses it. This is the axel. No question. A single axel. So he has to be marked down, and his coach, Louis Strong, who took over from Michael Uranek, showed it at the time. That's probably with the single axel that he couldn't believe that a world champion would do. Look at that.
Where's home?
High of 4.8.
I need a hug.
And those 2 marks from United States and Canada. And you may have heard him then say, I need a hug. He knows it's gone. He knew it the moment that he fell. And the crowd haven't been told the marks yet. And now they have, and you can hear the reaction.
The marks for required element.
They're obviously
4-6,
absolutely
4-5,
right.
4-7,
This technical
4-7,
program,
4-6,
if mistakes are made,
4-6, 4-8,
Isabelle
4-4,
Brasseur,
4-8.
his Canadian colleague watching, José Chouinard, the leading female skater, and then Lloyd Eisler, we saw presentation marks obviously higher, but as I was going to say, if you fail in the technical program, your chance has gone. The leader at the end of the technical program is Urmanov, who is ahead of Stojko, the Frenchman Candeloro in 3rd place, Scott Davies 4th, Tatауров of Russia 5th, Millot of France 6th, Stephen Cousins of Great Britain is in 7th place. Well, that's all from the Lillehammer Amphitheatre for the moment.